Guys and dolls, Freedom Dad here. And as always, outside the Marina Court Hotel in Bangor, where they're holding illegals or legals, whatever you want to call them. In my book, they're all illegal because they came here through a traitorous government. And yeah, guys have been here for a long time. You know the score. You guys that follow this is for people that have just jumped on the Freedom Dance channel because there's been a lot of new subscribers. So this is a Marina Court Hotel out in Bangor, where this protest has been going on for over 2.5 years. Over 2.5 years. It must be coming up to 3 years now. One of the longest demos against the hotel in the United Kingdom, believe it or not. And yeah, these guys have been standing here in rain, snow, sleet, and sunshine. And yeah, the numbers go up and down, and yeah, it depends what the weather's like, I suppose, as well. But a bit chilly at night, so it is, guys. Nose is starting to run. We're at the coast, you know what I mean? There isn't much of a wind or breeze, but it's just a wee nip in the air, you know what I mean? We've got our Ulster's finest, the PSNI, keeping an eye on the front door in case these guys decide to charge it, which they've never done in a few years. They've also got a camera up on the roof with a directional mic, we believe. I can't see me, I can't see it right now, but it does point to these guys here. They were bringing cameras and setting the cameras here, standing, having somebody stand with the camera here, pointing it over, zooming into everybody's face, finding out who everybody else. And they used to always bring a Land Rover here as well, with the camera on top of it with a directional mic. And you know, they're still doing it in other demos. They're not doing it here, you know, but they have put the camera up on top of the hotel instead. And probably the most high tech, quite modern. So God knows what it can do, to be honest with you. And that's where we're at in Northern Ireland. This is the patriots of Northern Ireland coming out, mothers and fathers, grannies and granddads, aunties and uncles, complaining about refugees, migrants, illegal migrants, legal migrants. Just up, you want to give it a clean? I'll use this.
It's what I just bouncing off it.
Oh, I know. What's that like?
See
There's
what
a bit lady in it.
weird, isn't
There's
it?
a bit lady in it.
Didn't want to interfere with your live stream. Do you remember me?
No.
Brandon, your club site, the one that
Yeah.
you've been talking to for a while.
Oh, you on it.
I was talking all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I only live in Ireland, so I call him for a while. I didn't mind the food.
Yeah, no, I'm still going live. Like, I'm still live. Ah, sorry. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm just going to get my ratings all weird on it. Okay, yeah. We stand up for a while. I've had enough of you. Yeah. Yeah, happy days. Yeah, come on in, interview. No, okay, to make sure.
Oh, no, I know. That's okay. I'm not really going to the place. I'm scared of man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
If you see my face, you're on my face. But that doesn't mean I don't. You're right. Yeah.
Well, you just sit there sometimes. I'm sending you a phone number.
You haven't sent your message.
Right, okay, yeah, okay. Me? Yeah.
Right, man. So wrong. What's that?
Your camera quality?
It's good. I'm moving back to make the dancing for the party.
I would do it. Is it? I would do it. You can't look at it. I'm not scared of share my thoughts.
Join in and say hello to people.
I don't mind being on camera.
All right, no sorry, mate. Sorry about that, guys. So, yeah, people come up and talk to me, give me information and stuff like that, stuff for me to follow up. And other people coming up saying hello and stuff like that. So, yeah, it is what it is. You can imagine. This is how we network. This is how we do things. Citizen journalism. A lot of people won't say anything on phones or messages or anything. They don't want it ever. Like if I get caught with if they take my phone off me and they see their messages and it could get them into trouble. That's what they feel. But the truth is, it won't get you into trouble. It's you know, as long as you're not being racist, you're not being nasty, you're not wanting me to do anything that's violent. Then there's nothing wrong with giving me the information that's going on in your area and how you feel about that, how you feel, how it makes you feel. See what he say there? Is he talking to me or talking to somebody else? Talking to himself. Let's fucking find it in a minute. All right, mate.
Okay.
Oh, good. Aye. Says young man. See. Nothing wrong with talking to yourself as long as you don't answer yourself back. Yeah. So as I was saying, guys, this is one of the longest running protests outside a hotel in United Kingdom. And you know, there's another one. I want to give a shout out to the boys and girls in the Ainsworth tonight, the Shankill, who are demonstrating tonight. I'm sorry I can't be there. I do have a citizen journalist there, and I will be bringing a video, so I will. So do not fear. Freedom that is there, even though I'm here, and you know, so we are getting better and better at what we're doing, guys. So yeah, what I want to pick up today, just give us, let you know, keep us up to date with everything. You know what I mean? So you know, Pinky's been through a wee bit here. I can't say too much about the case. You know what I mean? Obviously, we can say enough. You know what I mean? That's one of ours. That's one of our drones. It's all good. It's all good. So what I was saying, yeah, Pinky, you know what he's been through, what the family's been through, the amount of Land Rovers coming for him, and everything. Where the fuck's he going? Like, oh, that's a new one, is it not? Huh? No, I thought that was. Good. It's okay, guys. All good. Yeah. So, as you know, what he's been through, what the family's been through, the way the PSNA have behaved, making it out to be some sort of, you know, some sort of terrorist. There's no two ways about it. Mental, crazy. But I want you to know that, you know, after all the stuff he's been arrested for, and all the journalists, you know, your crime correspondents and everything, all thinking about this, that, and the other, you know, one by one, bump, they're all gone. Like we said, there's one more to deal with, you know, as you know, and yeah, it's just like the rest, you know, as you will see as we go forward. You know, the thing about, you know, being a citizen journalist and stuff, and being where everything is, and you know, being around the demos, you know, you learn an awful lot about people. You learn about the police, and we learn the most important defensive weapon that we have is our camera, you know, and that will always save the day because we'll never do nothing wrong. You understand? We will never do nothing wrong. Just because you don't like the language or you don't like the style, you can't arrest people for that, unfortunately. You know, just because you don't like it, you don't like the cursey words and the swear words and the mannerisms of how people behave, you know what I mean? That's on you. But what we find with our government is if you look at some people the wrong way, never mind, speak to them the wrong way. then they will work with these people to bring charges to get you remanded, knowing fine right that these people aren't ever going to do like carry it on because it's lies to start with. And then when it comes to it, you've spent all this time on bail conditions like Glenn Kane, like the guy, I'm not going to say his name, from Sandy Row, 22 months on bail conditions just to be found not guilty. See about Glenn, let's watch this space. You know, he's on bail conditions because he had power multi memorabilia and a couple of badges and some leaflets that a man wrote that hasn't even been arrested for writing it. Every one of us have got these leaflets. You can get it online. I can download it. I can download it tonight if I want. I can download it tomorrow night and download it the next night. There's nobody coming to arrest Freedom Dad for that. It's widely available. But yet, here we have with Glenn, and it's just, at the end of the day, whether you like Glenn or not, or whether Pinky's your man or not your man, or whatever you don't like Freedom Dad because of the bank robbing. This isn't about none of that. It's not about personal feelings, guys. This is about the future of your country and how the PSNI and the government and the papers work together to bring down anybody that goes against them verbally. Anybody that brings awareness to anywhere about what's going on, what these characters are allowing, what the government is allowing, the state of England today, the people who are trying to tell you, hey, just look, just wake up, sit up, have a look at Rotherham, have a look at Rochdale, Leeds, Birmingham, Halifax. Listen, we could go on and on and on. Have a look at the state of Parliament. Have a look at the state of the government. Have a look at the state of Labour. You know what I mean? And for some reason, nobody else wants to tell you this, apart from the citizen journalists. For some reason, the police want to police us like we're terrorists, and the newspapers want to blacken our names. For what? For what? For what? What has Freedom Dad done? Freedom Dad has come online to tell you what's going on in the rest of the country, not just the mainland, but Southern Ireland. And it's horrific. Because I've been there. I've spoke to the Patriots in Ireland. I've been around 50,000 Patriots. I've spoke outside the post office. I've been to England. I've spoke at demos in England. I've been to Scotland, spoke at demos in England. I've spoke to Patriots, been speaking to Patriots to see how people are breaking, how the morale's breaking in some of these places because they don't know what else to do. They have big, massive rallies. Big, massive rallies. We've got millions turning up at rallies, but yet we don't have any solutions. All we see is this desecration of areas like Birmingham with rubbish piled up in the streets, with rats running about because of a council that doesn't care anymore. And this is what it's about. This is what we do. And what I'm going to keep saying to you is you've got to understand that the only sins or crimes of the people that are being arrested in Northern Ireland right now, under anything to do with hate crimes or anything like that, is because they're telling you the truth. And the police, the government, and the newspapers do not want you to know. And that's the fucking scary fact of it. And that's what you need to get out to your friends and your families. You need to get the word out, guys. This isn't a joke. This is the end of everything we know. If you don't believe me, go to Birmingham. Go and ask the Burmese. Go and ask the local English men and women in the Midlands what's coming. How long did it take? What does it feel like? Do your research. It's all there, This is Northern Ireland, 6 counties. It's not very big. It's maybe, I imagine, half the size of the Midlands, okay? Half the size of the Midlands. We find out today that there's more Muslims in England, in the whole, I think, of England and Wales than there is Welsh. That's scary. Now, the Muslims in the mainland outnumber the Welsh, okay? How long is it going to be before they outnumber the Scottish? How long is it going to be before they outnumber the English? They're serious questions. It's not a gimmick. It's not a pun. These are serious questions I'm asking. I'm asking you to do your research. I'm asking you to look into it. Find out how long it's going to be. Look at the you're going to struggle to get the figures right. They're saying 3.5 million Muslims at the minute. I personally think, and along with Labuna, the Pakistani Muslim woman who has her own YouTube channel, that is quite possibly 2 or 3 times more than that. Now, I'm telling you, we have problems with the figures that the government are giving us with the births, British people's not have more people are dying than we are having children. Okay, now that is a problem for any population, anybody, Protestants, Catholics, English, Scottish, Welsh, and the Irish. You need to have more people being born than dying to succeed successfully. So we have a serious problem here, guys. And we do need to look at the figures. We need to look at the death rates. The most important thing is the birth rates. Why are we not having children? Ask them questions. Start looking into that on its own. Why is our birth rates declining? You know, and like I say, I brought a video about what's coming to our schools and what they're pushing to our children about homosexuality and all the rest of it. And I don't disagree with it. I think everybody has the right to do what they want. But indoctrinating it and making our children aware and sexually active at such a young age, I don't agree with. Didn't do me any favors, you know, when I was young. And I can assure you, it's a recipe for disaster, not only for mental health, but for our birth rates. If we have boys going with boys and girls going with girls, there's very likely that there are going to be many children being born, let's be honest. And that's just the facts of life. That is the facts of life. He's fucking lovely. He's enjoying himself, isn't he? But yeah, that's the facts of life, guys. So really now what you need to do once you work out like why we're not having children and how big a deal this is, I then want you to have a look at Muslims, at Islam, and how they work, how many children they have, how many wives they have. Work out in your head if if they are having children with if they're having children with two children. You understand, because let's be honest. We know what's going on. We know the Sharia courts. We know things are changing. We know that there's over 30 Muslims in some cities. Muslim mosques. Sorry, there's massive changes. So we understand that everything else that goes on in Pakistan and these places, they bring that culture with them. Everything, all their cultural days and everything. Yeah, and we accommodate that. So what I'm saying to you is whatever ages that they do things over there, they're going to be doing that here, and we're going to be having a baby explosion. It doesn't take much from even say 3.5 million, and give that 20 years. You know, do the math. Give it another 20 years. It's like an accumulator when you at the bookies. It once it goes so far, it explodes. It will be a matter of going up like that and people not worrying too much. But then once it gets to a certain stage, it's going to explode and it's going to be overwhelming and it's going to be too late for anybody to do anything. People are going to be wanting to do a lot, but it's going to be too late to do anything. That's the bottom line. And this is the point I'm trying to get across, because I want you to keep an eye on England. I want you to keep an eye on what's going on over there. I want you to keep an eye on Ireland. It's very important that we watch these countries. We watch what's going on. We watch how the government behave, and we watch how the police behave towards the patriots, the mothers, the fathers, the grannies, the granddads, the aunties and uncles. We have to watch that very carefully, because we learn from that in Northern Ireland. This is for our politicians as well, because you need to get to your politicians. This is what it's about in Northern Ireland. The people need to awaken and understand that we control things, not Westminster, not the DUP, not Sinn Féin, but the Protestants and Catholics of Northern Ireland are in control of this. We just have to arise and awaken. It's as simple as that, guys. No more not voting. No more, it's not voting for me. I promise you, I will make sure there was a proper political party in this country when it comes to vote to stop the mass immigration and the degradation of Northern Ireland's culture and traditions as we go forward for our children and our grandchildren. I guarantee you, with whenever it is, whether it's a year, 2 years, or 3 years, we will have a political party in this country that represents both communities and will do exactly what the people want, and that's save our culture, save our children's future. This is what we're down to now. It's not about a united Ireland or Britain or anything else. This is about two countries either side of us being destroyed, and us understanding exactly why and how. Whether you're a Catholic, you must be looking at Ireland in despair. You must be. You must be looking at what Sinn Féin are doing in your areas in despair. We are looking at Great Britain in despair. I'm a Protestant unionist loyalist, and I'm looking at the union in despair. I'm also a royalist, and I'm looking at my royal family in despair, shock, horror. This is not misinformation. This is real life. This is what I am getting from the streets. I am speaking to every man, every woman, whether they're in the flute bands, whether they're working as plasterers, joiners, whether they're in the Orange Order, or whether they're Catholics from West Belfast. the Bogside or Armagh. I've spoke to them all. I've been in Dublin and spoke to them all, and I've asked the questions that need to be asked. Okay, and we're all on the same page here. This is bigger than the religions that we the difference between us with Protestants and Catholics. This is bigger than the power multis. It's bigger than the conflict. This is completely going to destroy everything we know if we do not get the right people in charge to run our country properly. It's as simple as that, guys. England have made a big mistake by not voting. 40% did not vote. Labour got in with 20% of the vote. Look what they've done. And it's not just what they've done. The Conservatives, the Tories are just as bad. This goes right back to Tony Blair, right? We understand why it's happening. We understand the Fabian Society. We understand the far left, the ideology, how it's in everything, how it's in social work, how it's in our universities, our schools, our hospitals, our justice system. We understand all that. But this is Northern Ireland. We can get rid of them, right? We can get rid of them right this minute. We have the far left having a meeting in Queen's University. I put a post up, a video up about it on Facebook. This is serious stuff. They're also going to be there tomorrow, right? They're going to be there tomorrow, popping out this far ideology in our colleges. Have a look at these people, have a good look at these people, and ask yourself, would Freedom Dad get in there? Would the Patriots get in there? Would the right wing ideology, would my argument of what I want for my child in the future, would it get listened to? No, of course it wouldn't, because they're already embedded. This is their safe place, is our universities. Let that be a warning to you. This is where they all go to scheme and plot the future destruction of Northern Ireland. It's Queen's University. When the time comes, we need to clear out. We need to clear out lecturers. We need to clear out the people at the top. We need to clear out the people at the top of the police. We need to look at our social services. We need to look at our justice system. We need to look at everything. Everything. And we need to reevaluate. We need to bring our nurses and our doctors back from Australia, like they're asking to. And we need to pay people the right money for the jobs that we don't want to do. The cleaners, the carers, the security men, pay them the right money. And we would not need to bring cheap labour in. The solutions are there. The solutions are simple. It's not hard, you know. It isn't hard, guys. This is Northern Ireland. We're on top of this. We're ahead of our game. As far as Ireland's concerned and England, please believe me, we are well ahead of our game here. And never think for 1 minute that we're not capable of fixing this, you know. 110%. I am so confident because we are right. There is nothing, nobody can argue with Freedom Dad. Nobody can come up to Freedom Dad and say, no, it's all good. It's all good in England. They're all happy. Diversity's great. You know, they're all happy with getting their cities turned from British, English, local cities to Pakistani, Indian cities like Leicester, where they're fighting on the streets over a cricket game. Yeah, diversity's doing really well over there, you know. So much comes with it. So much is coming with it, and we're going to see as we go forward. You know, I seen a video today that Justice Minister, the Home Office Minister, Mahood, making it clear that Pakistan was the most important thing in her life. It's in her heart. What the fuck, guys? You've got a woman who's telling you that her allegiances lie with another country, and you've got her in the Home Office. Does that make any sense to anybody in Northern Ireland? Because we come on, guys. Come on. Really? We need to be watching our politicians very closely. Never mind them walking down the street and giving it all out about the local houses, as you've seen today with the DUP. They say the right things because they know they have to now. They're not. They could have been doing this a long time ago. They didn't need to wait for Freedom Dad to come over and start talking like this, to have them talking like that. They could have done this a long time ago, and they were silent. So why were they silent? Your words are no good now unless you've got the solutions. Don't come out and say what Freedom Dad's saying. Because I walk up a street in the Shangle doing a video, then one of you DUPs are walking down a street somewhere talking about houses and housing for local and all the rest of it. You know, we want action. We don't want words. We want serious actions. We need you to tell us that this migration is going to stop. We're going to empty the hotels on University, down at University, Botanic, the Chimney Corner, any hotels. The two that are in Bangor, there's two here. There's one here and there's one up there, right? We know where they all are. That's what we need to be told. We don't want these people coming into our social housing because we don't have any social housing for locals, right? Simple as that. They've come in here through a traitorous government. They can go straight back out the door again, right? There's nobody's going to have a problem with that right now. If they're here and they're getting social benefits, or they get criminal records, or they've been in prison, they're out the door, and they'll just go back to wherever they came from, which will be England, or Scotland, or Wales. And I'm sorry, guys, but this is where we're at. This is what you should have been doing. This is what England should have been. Instead of going out and getting the RNLI to escort them in, you should have been escorting them straight back to France. But no, diversity is good. And yeah, they'll use your empathy. They'll use 24,000 foreigners are on the terrorist watch list. 24,000. Do you know why it's only 24,000? Because they can't cope with the rest, right? That's just the ones that they know about, that they've got an idea about. Jeez, oh, guys. I've watched a video today again with Tommy Robinson as well. He's over in Israel now. I'm not here. I'm not here nor there. I don't take sides and stuff like that. Northern Ireland's the most important country to me. Not Israel, not Palestine, not Russia or Ukraine. Northern Ireland is the most important place in my heart, and nothing will ever come between that. This country and the future of this country for my daughter. That's where I am at, But Tommy's over there at the minute, and he watched the video, and I've heard about this video because they brought in a load of reporters and showed the actual body cams of Hamas and what they did. They haven't released it to the public because I wouldn't want to see it, and I don't think any of you want to see it, but they showed it to a select few of worldwide journalists. And I've seen the video of them journalists coming out of that room, and it's horrific just to see their faces, never mind to think what they watched. Tommy Robinson watched about it today, and it made a grown man cry. You do not know. I know what it is, the video is. I know what they've done. I can't even tell you what I have. Just like the grooming gangs. I can't even tell you the horrific, high terroristic and horrific and torturous these men behave towards our children. I can't even tell you. We've never experienced violence on children like this ever in our lives. And we've had sex offenders and paedophilia and all the rest of it for years. It's all been there. I've been through it. Most kids in the care system have been through it. Going right back to the 70s, 60s, 50s. Yeah, it's nothing new. But this is different. This is a violence like we've never seen before. And I have researched, I have looked back, I have checked. There's not been violence put on the children like this ever in our lives. And this is something that, it's not just words, something you should pay close attention to. Because these men are different. These men that are coming into our country, the Muslim men, the extremists of the ideology of Islam, follow the Quran to the letter, and there is no room in their world for anybody that isn't them. And it's as simple as that. And there's one goal and one direction they're going in, as we see. And more will get into power in England. And I've seen videos. What's his name? Oh, because I haven't spoken about him for a while. He was the Muslim, Pakistani Muslim First Minister for Labour. Right? You throw his name up, Stevie, see if the name comes up. You know who I'm talking about, Scotland guy. His dad's a politician as well. What? No. Okay, he's gone. He was the SNP. This is a Labour one, so it is. This is a Labour one. And anybody get his name because it's doing my nut in now. So yeah, I've seen a video of him standing, talking to a room full of Pakistani men that are now living in Scotland and telling them that they're here to take power. I've brought the video to my platform. I've done videos about it. It's there, like I say, 800 videos. You'd have a problem watching it. I am going to start repeating some of these videos to bring some old videos back out. Just the the reform ones, the nasal frauds ones, things that you need to know that are out there, information that's out there that you can research. I bring it to you, show you what he says, and give you an understanding of what's truly going on. And I'm just going to go. I'm going to leave that there, guys, because there's enough said. There's enough there for you to understand that this is something that you need to pay close attention to. This is something you need to really get up and do something about. You need to speak to your politicians. You need to take no nonsense from your politicians. You really do. This isn't a time for squeaky clean private school boys, millionaires, shirts and ties, and all speaking properly and being politically correct. Them days are gone. Just like you see with the media right now, when people are tuning in to Freedom Dad instead of anybody else. You know what I mean? I don't even know how many thousands it is now I've got across the platforms, but it's really, really growing. And that's telling me an awful lot. And when I walk about the streets of Belfast, anywhere in Northern Ireland, people are coming up and recognize me and telling me I keep doing what I'm doing. And it's amazing. It is amazing. So this is a new era. This is, you need to pay attention to this, guys. Go with this new era. It's a knowledge explosion with the internet. We've got AI. There's so much that we've got to use to help us do what we need to do, and it's all legal. Every single bit that we do is legal. Okay, it's political and it's legal, and that's it. Yep, right wing, nothing wrong with that. Being an activist, nothing wrong with being a right wing activist. You see what they're doing in Queen's University tonight and tomorrow. If the left can behave like that, then so can we. You know what I mean? Only you see what they're up against. You see what they're doing. They're not shy because they get the support of the government. And this is the kicker with them guys. The government come down hard on us, persecute us, right? Follow us, intimidate us. Me, any of us, any of these guys here. But they don't. You never see them bothering the left. You know, these are the ones that are pushing all these ideologies into our schools and in their hanging and telling us like nothing. And I'm gonna keep reading this. I'm not saying this thing about gay people, but come on, you must think we're nuts if we think it's okay that you have a Pride Month. Our fucking veterans get an hour, and you're wanting a month. You know that's not. You're the minority. You're the minority. The majority aren't gay. The minority are gay. So why a month? Why do this? It doesn't make any sense. And I know some people might find that hard. But what about a week? Can we not come and go? Can we not talk about it? Can we not have a debate about it? You know, come on, guys. It's not for everybody. And at the end of the day, it's a personal, private thing. I don't run about jumping about, shouting about me being heterosexual. So it doesn't make any sense. Everything's got to be equal. And it's not equal when all minorities seem to have more power and more strength and more support in my country, in your country. You know, we are the majority. We are the majority. Us people here are the majority, and we are not against gays. We're not against trans. We're not against any of that. We support you, and you should get the support that you need. But it shouldn't be pushed down our throats. So it's being pushed down our throats. It's causing hatred and it's causing division. And it's almost like somebody's doing it to make it more difficult for you. There's nothing wrong with parading. We have the 12th of July, one day, and we parade. We never asked for a week or a month. Hunger strikers have a day. The bloody Sunday, they have a day. Easter uprising, they have a day. They don't have none of us have a month for anything. So that needs addressed, 110%, because that's them using empathy has always against us all, making us feel sorry for blah, 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 or the refugees, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And then as they use our empathy, they destroy us and we don't even realize it. And it's us are sitting there going like, you know what, no, yeah, refugees welcome. Refugees are welcome. They're not welcome in your house, are they? Yeah. You like going to all these demos shouting refugees welcome, but somebody says, do you want to take three of these Muslim guys, one from Afghanistan, one from Iraq, and one from Pakistan, into your house with your family? You're like, fine. Oh, you fuck. Let's be honest, guys. You know what I mean? So that's the reality of it. That's the ironic of it all. You know what I mean? The irony of it all. So yeah, it's madness. It sounds madness, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound absolute madness? Did anybody think there would be a man standing in Bangor saying all these things? And they're all facts of over 800,000 children affected, abused by Pakistani grooming gangs and others in England. I put it in the millions. I'm telling you now, I put it in the millions. Just like they don't know how many people's in the country. They always don't have the numbers when we need to know the numbers for our future. So they don't know how many people has came here on visas and haven't returned. That's one thing. They don't know how many foreigners have been in and out of jail. That's another thing because they're giving them citizenship so they become British. There's so many questions that they can't answer, and they're the questions that we need answered. The most important questions that let us understand how long we have, you know, because it's not about people going about civil war and we'll do this. It's too late for that, guys. You know what I mean? And see anybody that's pushing that out these, they're just lazy. They don't want to actually research it, look into it, and find another solution. They just want to sit back in their armchairs and go, you know what? When it gets this bad, we'll just have a civil war. We'll go to town with them. We've been having civil wars in this country for the last 50 years, and we never gained an inch. We've been fighting with the police, the police, and the army in this country, and we've never gained an inch. All you do is you destroy your own area, and then they'll come and lift you whenever you're tired. You know, you'll never beat the system on the streets, guys. You'll only beat the system by getting off your feet and voting, and it's as simple as that. And all this nonsense is in England with all these different parties, Advance UK. You've got Rupert Lowe. You've got Neil. What do you call him? UKIP. You've got Homeland. You've got IDF. IDF, is it IDF? Fucking mixed up. Scrap that last one. There's another one I can't remember because I'll get it mixed up. And who else is there? There's another one I'm forgetting. Britain First. All political. All taking votes. Every single one of them are taking votes. All taking patriot votes. And then we've got the big, fake, treacherous reform who are convincing patriots that they are the answer when they're going to be worse than Labour. And I've done videos, and if anybody wants to come and speak to me about that, I will speak. I will explain to you why reform will be worse than Labour. I will explain to you exactly what's happened. Listen to this, right? Nigel Farage is a leader of a political party, Reform, who are going to be the next political party in England. Okay, why is he on a mainstream news broadcaster with his own section, his own show? Ask yourselves that. Whenever in our days have we had a main political leader getting a platform on a main news, a right wing patriot news like GB News, where all the patriots go to watch their news because Patrick Christie's the man, right? There's your Nigel Farage. Do you really think the establishment who own GB News are going to allow that kind of advantage unless they want reform and power? The establishment, the people above, the deep state, have known that Labour have been gone for a long time, long before we actually knew, and they've got reform ready to go. And believe you me, this is why they kicked everybody out and supported Tommy. This is why Nigel Farage's banks got attacked. That was a shot over the bow. He's a millionaire. You cannot listen. If you're a millionaire, that means money means a lot to you, right? If you're a multi-millionaire, it means you're very, very greedy and you just love making money. You are not going to jeopardize that for nothing. Okay, there's not a man in this world can be a leader of any country being a millionaire because they will just be compromised. Simple as that, guys. The only people that can be leaders are the people invested in the country. People, men and women who have got children that they're going to leave behind when they're gone to carry on their legacy. Nigel Farage won't be staying in England, I can guarantee you that. None of these MPs will be staying in England when things change. They're going to be off. They've got summer houses all around the world. Nigel Farage has probably got something set up in America because he's never out of there. So let's not be stupid about this. These guys aren't going to be around. Their families aren't going to be around. Their children and their grandchildren aren't going to suffer what we could quite possibly suffer. Remember that. We're the working class. We're not the millionaires. We're the ones that are always going to be here. Our children are always going to be here. And that's what we like. We don't want to be millionaires. We're happy. Some people do, but we're happy with happiness. We're happy having family. We're happy having community. We're happy having food and we're happy having heating and a roof over our head. The simple things in life. Having dreams and ambitions is what makes people get up in the morning. When you've got everything in the world, your dreams and ambitions disappear, guys. Please believe me. You know, you've got nothing left apart from going down dark roads. And that's where all these millionaires go wrong. And that's how they're all compromising. That's why the country's in the nick it's in, because we've had politicians compromised since the 50s, 60s, 70s, and the 80s. The BBC compromised. The main media compromised. Every top tier of every government in America and Europe have all been compromised at one stage or another. You know, you see how bad the Bidens were. You look at Macron. You look at Angela Merkel. She opened her door to all the foreigners. And look at what's going on in Germany now. You know, it's getting that bad. There's even foreigners voting for the right wing. Seriously, guys, you can't make it up. That's fact as well. I've seen the maps and where like and where the votes came from. Because like most countries, like England, the refugees, the foreigners will go to one particular area. They will. They won't integrate. They will not integrate. And this is what's happening in England. They are not integrating. They are becoming areas. They're becoming communities. They're becoming cities. They're becoming towns, and they're becoming voting blocks. And then they become politicians, and then they get jobs in the Home Office and the Education Minister. Guys, there should be nobody in power in your country that isn't from your country, 110%. There should be nobody in power in your country that has dual citizenship to another country. It's as simple as that. It's just a security thing, it's a safety thing, and this doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to anybody I know now. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. The vote and carry on. We this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem. England need to sort this out. Far too many political parties. Nobody's coming together. Nobody's communicating. Everybody hates each other. Because I know I've interviewed them all. I've spoke to them all. I've spoke to people out of UKIP. I've spoke to people out of Homeland. You know, the way people are looking at Advanced UK, they see it as a Tommy Robinson sort of thing, and some of these other ones in Homeland and UKIP and on other places, some of them have an axe to grind, and it's just patriot stuff that's been going back through the emotions and the distress of what they've been dealing with, and it's like trying to run and you're not getting anywhere, and people are getting in your way and they're making you fall over. That's what the patriot world's like over there, and this is what I'm trying to avoid over here in Northern Ireland. Everybody needs to be running in unison, not going across each other. Everybody needs to be in their lane, going in the same direction with the same goals, you know, and that's it, And I will help and promote and do everything I can for any patriot, any citizen journalist that wants to do what I'm doing in Northern Ireland. Just get in touch, if you can talk, if you know what I'm talking about, if it's in your heart, if you know exactly the information that I'm giving here, start talking about it. Start talking about it. You don't have to record yourself and put it out straight away. You can record yourself and look back at it. You can polish up. The raw, the better. Nobody's wanting perfection, guys. You don't have to be like a news presenter. You can make mistakes. People expect that. We're just guys. We're just mums and dads. We're just trying our best. There's nobody else doing it. We're the only ones that can do it. So nobody's going to judge you if you don't sound right, if you've got a missing tooth, or if you're a bank robber. You're not going to be judged because nobody's judging anybody right now apart from all judging the government. We're all judging the PSNI. We're all judging the decisions that are being made with these people coming into our country. And yeah, that's where we're at, guys. So I am going to wrap it up because I want to say hello to a few people. I never get the chance to say hello to people, so I don't. So I am going to wrap it up. What time we got? Quarter two, so that gives it. I know we normally stay for a wee bit longer as well. If anybody ever comes down, like we just don't knock it on the head at 7. I will hang about for a while and talk and pass numbers and get information and network because that's what it's about. All legal and above board, and there's nothing anybody can do about it because we're not doing nothing illegal, nothing at all. This isn't the paramilitaries. This isn't criminal. This is activism and it's social policies. It's addressing the social policies in our country that are going to destroy it for our children. And it's just like what you can understand as well is I'm an advocate of only locals should be caring for locals. Like I say, there's a lot of things should be changed. I'm also an advocate that foreigners should not be allowed to vote for at least 5 to 10 years when they come into this country, because then Sinn Féin wouldn't be able to use them against us. Because this is what's going to go. This is what's going to happen in England, guys. Please believe me. You're going to have a lot of people that haven't got a clue that reform aren't right wing. And imagine this. Imagine this. Imagine this in 6 years' time. Reform have already got 3-4 years, and there's another election, and you've got Reformer who are centrist, right? And then you've got say Advanced UK who are now massive, right? So you've got Reform and you've got Advanced UK. Who do you think the foreigners are going to vote for? That's what you got to watch. This is why they're bringing them in. This is why Labour are relying on the foreigners to vote them back in, believe it or not. Sinn Féin are relying on the foreigners that they're bringing in the island to keep Sinn Féin in. Please believe me, this is serious. This is happening and it's not misinformation. You just got to ask about. You've got to ask your friends. Speak to patriots. There's patriot sites online, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Leave comments, speak to content creators, speak to citizen journalists, speak to people that are in the comments, make friends, talk to people in Cork, reach out to people in Limerick, reach out to people in Dublin, reach out to people in England, Scotland, Wales. Reach out to people. Start. You've got the internet. You can talk to anybody around the world. Stop talking to everybody around the world. Start talking to people that you need to speak to and find out what's truly going on in their areas. And then you'll understand that we are in serious trouble in Northern Ireland. And as you can see, I'm never out of the papers. Never out of the papers since I've come home. Every 2 weeks without fail. I hit the Sunday papers 3 weeks in a row. You know what I mean? I've only ever had 2 weeks off where they haven't mentioned me. I'm not doing nothing wrong. I'm not telling you lies. I'm not being racist or far right. There's not a racist bone in my body. There's not one person around me knows it, thinks, even thought of me being racist. But yet I get called far right and racist every fucking second week. What does that tell you, guys? That tells you they want me to shut up. That tells you that they don't want you to know what's coming. I'm Freedom Dad. You ready, Stevie? God bless.